Hello, assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Khushamdeed ji ayanu. Goedemorgen.
Bakhair Agale, Ni Hao, Tuna Shumme, Washmale, Ohio Gonzaimes, Guten Morgen, Hola, Bonjour, Privyet, Kaifahal, Hale Shuma Chatore, Ahlan Wasalan, Marhaba, Buna, Mucho, Gracias, Swabia, Bali Karaya. And thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning into PTV Ball. You watching World this morning, alongside the very fantastic and the very energetic Shiza Hashmi and Shahzad Khan. Hello, Shiza, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking. And I am a little more relaxed as compared to yesterday because you're back.
Thank you.
Because when you're not here, I have to take like my extra dosage of coffee because I know I'm on my own. So what happened yesterday? I think a mishap, right?
Yeah, it was a mishap. My car broke down, unfortunately, and I couldn't make it to work at that particular point of time as well. But just after another half an hour, I had to be on PTV Sports. But I'm glad that that there's this application for Kareem, and I downloaded it. And I was like, okay, I need to reach office, whatever happens. So I wasn't able to reach PTV World, but I was able to reach PTV Sports in time as well. And yes, I think it was a lucky day as well for all of us, ladies and gentlemen, because Pakistan actually won the last T20. And Rizwan played tremendously well. Hafiz played tremendously well as well. In fact, I think everybody kind of gelled in as well. But other than that, we did lose the series, and we really.
But what do you think of the squad?
Oh, well, the squad is okay. Everybody's got a few reservations with the squad as well. But what I'm going to share with everybody who's out there is that that since we had 5 professional bowlers, and we really didn't want any more bowlers because of the fact that the top order wasn't working really well.
Okay.
So we wanted our batting order to actually have been lengthened. So we even had Hafiz, we even had Imad. Not talking about the yesterday's match as well, but the first 2 matches.
Okay.
So and they can pretty much bowl very well as well. So we really didn't need 6 or 7 or 8 bowlers in the squad as well. I think that was the only disagreement I had. But eventually, yesterday, I think they did a great job where Wahab was rested and Imad was rested, because Wahab, in the absence of Amir, he was the most reasonable and the most seasoned bowler so far as well. But one way or the other, Wahab couldn't perform. And so Hasnan was brought in. Even Hasnan didn't do a great job, but Fahim Ashraf did a wonderful job where with 3 wickets, he gave away 20 runs in 3 or 4 odd overs, ladies and gentlemen, which I thought was perfect. And why we couldn't do this earlier is the question. And the question, Shiza, over here is, now I have a question for you.
Oh,
Since
why?
you've asked me the question about the squad, I think I'm going to trick Shiza over here.
Okay.
Now the question is, so we know that Babar Azam is not around. We know that Imamul Haq is not around because they've injured their thumbs, all right? But, when we say that, we have a star-studded coaching setup, why do you think that we are not able to produce more stars within the team when we have star-studded coaching setup? So who are the coaches of Pakistan cricket team?
Great question. Why don't you enlighten me?
Yeah, sure. So
Is Shoaib Akhtar one of them?
No, Shoaib Akhtar is not one of them.
Misbah-ul
Shoaib Akhtar is actually one of the analysts on our show as well.
Yeah.
But Misbah-ul Haq
Yeah.
happens to be the head coach, and then Waqar Yunus, and then Yunus Bhai.
Oh.
And then now we have a chief selector who is Mohammad Waseem as well. But ladies and gentlemen, okay, I think we have talked enough about cricket. Today is a very important day.
Absolutely, it is. And since we are remembering legends almost every other day, because we love to celebrate them on our national TV, today could not go unmissed, actually. Today happens to be the death anniversary of one of the very, very popular and, in fact, legendary singer, actor, and actually a pride of Pakistan herself. She happens to be Madam Noor Jahan. We all know her. And her actually, the real name of Madam Noor Jahan used to be
Allah Vasai.
Allah Vasai, absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, she's been in Bollywood movies even before Pakistan film industry came into being as well. And today we are definitely remembering her.
Ladies and gentlemen, Madam Noor Jahan was born in district Kasur in 1926, and her original name was Allah Vasai.
Right, and Shahzad, she actually started her career from stage dramas with the name of Noor Jahan, as we already mentioned. And after that, she has been performing in numerous films, which are so popular even till date.
Yeah, she also performed in dozens of Indian and Pakistani films and sang hundreds of songs for Indian and Pakistani films. After partition, she came to Pakistan and started her film career as actress, singer, and the first female film director with film Chanwe in 1951. Her last film as actress, Ghalib, was released in 1961.
And Shazad, how, whenever we're doing a national day and something patriotic about the country, Madam Noor Jahan's name does come up.
Exactly.
And why so? Because she actually made a lot of national songs. And back then, when radio was the only thing, right? And a lot of people who have been in the war in back those days actually say that they used to derive a lot of support and encouragement from the content that was aired on radio.
Exactly.
And a major part of the content in wartime was the national songs by Madam Noor Jahan.
Exactly. And Shizad, the best part over here is that, back in 1965, when we were talking about the war as well, I've heard this interview of Madam Noor Jahan, where she said that, that somebody gave her a call and she actually was supposed to go to the radio station and sing live. So it wasn't that the songs were recorded prior to her going to the radio station, but she actually used to go there every single day and sing live for all of those people, and it kind of raised their morale as well. So ladies and gentlemen, we obviously need to remember our legends and our stars as well, and because we are in the making, and I think that whatever path we are going to set for all the future generations, I think they're going to follow that as well. So Madam Noor Jahan, may your soul rest in peace and patience for all of those people bereaved as well.
Right, and Shazad, actually, when it's sort of really funny for us to understand how radio was the only thing back then. Well, yes, it makes sense if you did live in that era. But now we have everything in our hand, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when we talk about gadgets, we are literally just a touch or a click away from the reality of the world. We have all the information we need in our hands. But here is the issue. So whenever we do want, we're looking for a gadget, we want, the top notch, the best of the industry and whatnot. For us living in Pakistan, we have to pay quite some extra to actually get our hands on the best one, right?
Yeah.
So I do wish, and I do know that we often talk about cars, how we need to manufacture and design them in Pakistan, but it's not just cars. I wish we also did like some amazing, sorry to say this, but iPhone level phones in Pakistan or similar gadgets as well.
Exactly.
I think we will get there. We have been in conversation with a lot of youngsters who are really, really psyched about, upping the technology game over here in Pakistan.
Exactly.
And I hope that happens while I'm alive.
Exactly. and everybody wants that. And ladies and gentlemen, we have been talking about it for quite a longer period of time, that we really need to come into manufacturing.
Absolutely.
Because so far Pakistan has only been a consumer to all of these products as well. And when we see or we look at the world, we see that this is the direction that we really need to go in, because we are an agrarian society over here in Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen. We cannot only grow crops and in exchange get phones or technology for that matter. We really need people to actually step into the game and make sure that they're going to do something phenomenal for Pakistan. For example, there are universities who are actually training their students to make drones. For example, we're making Thunder jets over here in Pakistan, and for that matter, we're even making armories or probably armed tanks and stuff like that. But now when we come down to the core of technology, ladies and gentlemen, the world has gone way beyond, and we really need to catch up with them if we want our economy to be independent. I think that this is something which we really need to do.
True.
And for that particular matter, ladies and gentlemen, there is a platform with the name of IEEE, who is actually making sure that they're going to raise or make ambassadors in different regions of the world and make sure that they're going to raise awareness and bring more people onto the platform. So we are very lucky that we've actually been joined by an ambassador of the IEEE for Region 10. Ladies and gentlemen, he is a gold medalist for software engineering. He is Mr. Kaisar Ansar Kasana. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Assalamu alaikum, good morning, Pakistan.
Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you very much, Kaisar, for joining us. How are you?
I am fine, and thank you for having me today. And because it is very important topic, I guess, for aspiring young students.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Who are undergoing in undergrad or in graduate.
Exactly, it is, and you're very right as well, which is why we have you over here, so that you can share your story and that people can take inspiration and that Pakistan can move forward in the right direction as well. So talking about this, I think first things first, we want you to let everybody know what is IEEE and what are they doing.
Okay, so first we need to understand basically what IEEE is.
Yes.
So I talked about you previously, because IEEE is basically a technical organization who is dedicated to advancing technology for the benefits of humanity. So IEEE, I can say, is basically a networking platform, and when you talk about IEEE, there are community who publish highly cited publications. There are conferences, IEEE conferences, and we can say technology standards. And other than technology standards, we can also, IEEE also organize educational and professional activities around the globe. So IEEE basically they work like in structure of sections. So Pakistan has total 3 sections, which is IEEE Islamabad section, IEEE Lahore section, and IEEE Karachi section. So the Lahore section was previously known as IEEE Pakistan section. And now we have also 2 subsections, which is basically IEEE Peshawar subsection and IEEE Bahawalpur subsection. IEEE Peshawar subsection reports to IEEE Islamabad, and IEEE Bahawal to IEEE Lahore. But actually, when we talk about IEEE in Pakistan, we have more than 200 universities in Pakistan. But unfortunate, we have only 50 to 60 student branches. Student branches is basically we can say a chapter or a sub-unit in a university. On campus, basically the responsibility of those chapters are to organize such activities, such events. Those empower students. Basically, these activities are designed to boost the confidence of students. Because when we talk about Pakistan or third world, basically we are consumer. When you look around, you are in your room. You will find out majority of the stuff is imported from other countries. So we need to think about it, how our students, our graduates, our professionals can be innovators. So IEEE is basically that platform that that boosts the confidence of students through these various activities.
And sorry, just a small comment though, and I think just hearing the idea of IEEE itself, I think this will definitely contribute to a major reverse brain drain as well, which we are so worried about. And we always say that there are, mashallah, brilliant minds in Pakistan, but for better opportunities, they have to go abroad.
Exactly, and for that particular reason, ladies and gentlemen, we really need to make sure that we look for those better opportunities over here within our own motherland as well, which is important. Which is why I'm going to ask you this, that you've shared your information about IEEE and what they're doing. But what I would, or we would all love to know is that, what kind of initiatives have been taken by people who have already been provided by this platform?
Okay, so let me remind my career with IEEE. So basically, I was volunteer in non-technical societies in universities, local societies. And I joined IEEE 2 years ago as a volunteer. Then I became the General Secretary of Student Branch on campus. And after that, I was founding chairperson of IEEE Computer Society, because you already mentioned that I am a software engineering graduate, and I also got gold medal in software. So basically, I thought IEEE can also enhance my skills, and also I can
then you get to see a lot of people as well.
Yeah, networking. There are a lot of opportunities of networking. So I joined IEEE, and after that, there is a competition named IEEE Richard E. Marvin Award. Basically, that competition is to select ambassadors around the globe.
And you won that award, right?
Yeah. Let me share the experience. It took me at least 1.5 weeks to just fill application for that award. And that is our society's dilemma. We are very lazy, and I
we
shared
procrastinate a lot.
when I shared this award, I shared with many friends to apply for this award, and many of them would not even fill the application. So basically, that is one of the thing, and I think our educational system is not that much let people know about these activities, competitions, and not even
it does not enable us to participate.
So when I applied for it, and I was very motivated, because basically the one thing, when we arrange such activities and events in national level, we have events like, there is an event named NESCON, which is one of the biggest tech competition of Pakistan, organized by FAST University. I participated in that competition, and I was the winner of web development competition in my module. And then I participated in National Olympiad, organized by GK. and I was also winner of that competition. And
Wow.
also in AirTech, I was winner of web. So these basically competitions at national level boost my confidence to participate in global level in
Richard E. Marvin.
for IEEE Richard E. Marvin award. So I applied for that award, and when I search about IEEE Richard E. Marvin, and I look up many students from our neighboring countries who was ambassador previously in previous cycle. Basically, this ambassador is selected for 1 year tenure in the specific region. So I got an email of confirmation email, and I am only Pakistani who is winner of this award in this 2020 cycle.
Wow.
And now I am serving as ambassador. I got some $1 reward and $1,000, sorry, $1,000 reward,
What did
and
you
also
do with that?
other benefits. And now I am serving as ambassador.
That's wonderful. I will stop you over here, but there's one point which I want to make, Shiza. I
Okay.
know that you have a question, and that is that, ladies and gentlemen, after a very long time, I've actually been in conversation with somebody who and I want to share it or express it in Urdu as well, जिसके अंदर मुझे काम करने की लगन और जिद्दत नजर आई है. ऐसे नौजवान पाकिस्तान में रोज़ रोज़ नहीं मिलते हैं, अनफॉर्चुनेटली, बट लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि ऐसे लोगों को टीवी पे बुलाने का मकसद ही है कि आप जितने भी लोग हैं, जितने भी नौजवान हैं जो देख रहे हैं, वो सीखें कसाना भाई से, इंस्पिरेशन ले. वो कितनी जिद्दत से और कितनी लगन से बता रहे हैं कि यार मैंने इस कंपटीशन में हिस्सा लिया और उसने मुझे कॉन्फिडेंस दिया कि मेरा करियर बेहतरीन बन जाए.
And we're really proud of that. But now I'm going to jump ahead of the conversation and actually sort of pose you a question that you need to explain to us as laymen as well. So lately the entire US government is fighting against Russia because Russia has been penetrating, or let's say violating, their citizens' privacy for 20 years, and it has been proven. Okay, so when we say that there will be innovations or things that are Pakistan specific or made in Pakistan, so I mean, are we looking at a future where our privacy is a little bit more secured as compared to right now, because then our own country will be producing all the platforms or things to be on,
Just like China did.
Okay. So first of all, we need to understand. This era is not of conventional war.
Yeah.
This era is of cyber warfare.
Yes.
And when we look about China is the only country who understand this the importance of cyber and importance of technology, and they developed their resistance for cyber warfare.
Okay.
And actually, unfortunate, we are not aware about these technologies, because I already mentioned that we are consumer, and I will come up to that question about privacy. But first we need to understand that this era is of cyber warfare, and this is war of information war.
Exactly.
And you use, when we talk about something, and when you open up Facebook or Insta, you will see the ads about that thing. So because and you cannot say just these information are used for advertisement, because about US election, 2016 election, and you talk about privacy, and a company named Cambridge Analytica that manipulate US voters, million of US voters, and turned the election result as well. So I think we are technology are manipulating, this is a drawback of technology as well, manipulating our ideas, changing mindset. But we are self-dragged. You can't uninstall your Instagram, your Facebook, your even Google.
I mean, it's hard for Shiza. I can do that.
We're so dependent.
Shiza, can you do that or not? But just a normal question. Can you?
I do on
Can
and
you
off when I
delete
need-
all of your Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and everything, and be like, hey, okay, you know what? I'm back to being normal.
I'm not normal, but yes, I do that all. Like, I mean, whenever I need a break, I do
Not
that. for a
deleting,
week.
not
Not
putting
deactivating?
it. Not deactivating, just deleting. Okay, whatever.
But can I keep one though?
Yeah, sure.
I'll
Obviously,
keep
which one?
Instagram.
You'll keep
like,
Instagram.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I think that's better. And Twitter, you can just go and shadow probably somebody else's profile, and that's fine as well.
Absolutely.
Because Twitter you
But-
use for up-to-date information. You stay updated.
And that's the point, Shazad, we are really, really that dependent on all of this thing. And sort of, which is why, like you said, we are consumers, and we do not care about the consequences of what is going to happen after we consume whatsoever, right?
Okay, so I think first we need to take smaller steps. I think this is not impossible that our students, our graduates, our professionals cannot innovate things.
Exactly.
So I think we need to take smaller steps. And
Like what?
I mean, if we can make
I meant-
nuclear
I
bomb, I
meant
think we
with-
can pretty much make
okay.
everything.
So basically, you can take smaller steps, like I met with president of AJK. You know, there is no IEEE section in AJK, and even we don't have in GB and don't have in Balochistan.
No, but
So
I'm sorry that I'm going to stop you over here, but I have a question and I think it's important one. So, even if we do not have IEEE, that does not mean that it's going to stop anybody from innovating or doing something, right? So, why would you emphasize on having IEEE within the universities?
you know, I think there are also other platforms like ACM. But why I am talking about IEEE is IEEE, you know, provides a platform to network with global innovators.
And also because
when we
it's
talk about
already
IEEE
established.
conferences, you can even go to different countries to attend those conferences, and basically speaker of those conferences will be some innovators, some technology, you know, contributors. So when we talk about IEEE, why IEEE? Because IEEE basically enables you, and I am, you know, I am now ambassador of region Asia
10.
Pacific region,
Yeah.
and I usually network with Sri Lankans and different countries, neighboring countries.
So what you're trying to say is that you can actually get a chance by IEEE, that
Yeah.
you will go and you can probably meet Elon Musk,
Yeah.
or you know, people like these, right?
So what when I was talking about AJK president, and you know, I also would like to request from president of Pakistan, who is chancellor of Federal Chartered
Exactly.
Universities, also governors who are, you know, chancellors of provincial level institutes, to enable to start these initiatives. And to direct vice chancellors of university to you know, to start competitions. You know, when I was talking about NESCON and I was talking about NEO, you know, there are quite less number of universities who are organizing such
Who are doing
events.
that. But yeah, Kesar, let me stop you there and in fact throw you a question so you can move in that direction as well. You know, why do you personally think, because I think you have quite a good hold on this topic as well, why do you think as compared to our neighbors in this particular region, we are probably light years behind in terms of technology? Yes, again, I've said this before, Fawad Chaudhry Saab is doing a great deal, but I think it's too late. It's 2020 and he's now
It's
gotten
almost
a chance.
2021 now.
Yeah, and he's now gotten a chance. What can he do, I mean, in just a few years? But here's the thing, I mean, looking at the new education policy that just came in, I hope it's implemented soon. One good thing was that up until 5th or 6th grade, the students will be taught in their local language. It's a good thing. I don't know how that's going to help in the technology later on. As compared to our neighbor who implemented in their education policy that from 6th grade onwards, basic coding is going to be a compulsory thing for every student to study. That is something I'm up for. Do you think we should incorporate similar things?
Yeah, we can, but you know, when you talked about it's 2021 and we are still just starting initiating things.
Yes.
I think one of the thing government should start is, you know, I heard about when once Fawad Chaudhry said that he will you know, organize a mega event of national level.
Yes.
So, you know, what that events actually means to those students or those young aspirant students, because when we have a national championship and many people start making things, stuffs, and that will present to you know, industry, you know, industry professionals, and they basically those things are to motivate those young students.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you talked about the syllabus and other things. Actually, I think our students lack awareness. We don't have awareness even in university level. Undergrad students don't have awareness about technologies. You know, students just take those degrees, and that actually this is I guess our national dilemma, that our students don't have. I think government is also should start some initiative to organize such awareness events on campus, and on, you know, through HEC, Higher Education Commission should start these initiatives.
Absolutely.
And it's important as well. But thank you very much, Kesar, for being with us and for raising awareness about such important issues as well, which we really need to work on, ladies and gentlemen, because we are light years behind, as Shiza said as well. And you know, since I'm going to come back to you, I'll give you that 1 minute. But ladies and gentlemen, to be very honest over here at this point of time, we really need to work in that direction. We really want our schools and education system to make sure that we are actually producing people who are innovators. We are not producing people who are actually going to look for jobs as well. And not just that, you know, the dilemma, Kesar, you talked about, actual reason behind that dilemma is that nobody is actually going to give you a girl to get married to if you do not have a degree over here in Pakistan.
That's
Karta
one
ki hai
thing.
ji. You know, and not just that, you know, the top 500 Fortune companies have made a policy where they're talking about that they're going to hire people with a better skill set rather than a better degree or
Of
GPA or
course.
CGPA.
Of course, I think it's all about the skill set now. It is a good thing, but I personally, have definitely felt a change in the upcoming generation on how,
On how swiftly they
they're
can use
so
iPads.
aware. That too. They're so aware. So here's a small example. Just the other day, actually a few days back, I was in conversation with your eldest daughter,
Yep.
and asking her what she wants to be in the future. And Shazad, we were so basic, you and me. As kids, we used to say, "Oh, I'm going to be a teacher. I'm going to be a doctor."
I never
You know what
said
she
that.
said? Augusto. Initially, she was like, I think I'm going to be the Queen of England. And then after thinking a little, she goes like, no, I am going to develop medicine, and my younger sister, she is going to go to the moon. Can you imagine young
Yeah,
kids saying
imagine.
that? But that is the good aspiration we're talking
I'm
about.
proud.
Right?
I'm proud of my daughter, but you know what? I don't know whether my father was proud of me or not, because if anybody asked me, what are you going to be when you're going to grow up, I was like, I'm going to be a father.
And you are that. Okay?
Alhamdulillah. But yeah, you wanted to say something.
Make this a closing note, okay?
So basically, one last thing I want to share is IEEE is basically providing some discount for new members,
Alright.
new student members, and you can just go to iee.org website and add your student membership, and you can get 50% discount with a promo I have.
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
And
So
how
you
much
can-
is the 50% fee? which will
It
be
normally
activated?
costs $30 to $35 per
but
year.
that's it.
But you can apply a promo named Future 50, and Future should be capital,
Okay.
and Future 50, and you will get discount, 50% discount
Wow.
for new membership. And when we talk about student membership, there are also an option of graduate student membership and a professional membership. So you can
Okay.
select as per your
Wow,
choice.
that's wonderful. So for all of those people who were actually tuned into PTV and watching all this morning, ladies and gentlemen, this is a special offer for all of you. Future 50, that's the promo code. All you have to do is IEEE.org, log on and make sure that you're going to get that membership, because they will actually enable you to make sure that you're going to do something, give back to the society, and that you're going to have a good network of people and innovators around you.
Most definitely. So thank you so much for being here, Kaise. And Shazad, how we're talking about, in fact, even today we talked about how degrees are not the only thing people or bigger companies are now looking for. It's all about the skill set, yes. And I think the base should be developed at a very young age.
Exactly.
Critical thinking should definitely be taught to students of course, higher education, but also at primary level. Because
Exactly.
then they will be able to make the decisions in the future that they have to, in terms of probably choosing what to study, in terms of choosing where to work, and in terms of choosing what kind of human
Brilliant.
being they want to be.
Brilliant, because we really just do not want to comprehend, ladies and gentlemen, we want to contemplate as well. So with that, we're going to go for a short break, but when you guys will come back, we will actually be in conversation with people who run schools, and we're going to ask them whether we are preparing our kids for such a future or are we not. Let's do this. Good morning.
Good morning.
Of moonless nights. When handed a night bereft of its glittering pendant, I decided to grow my own moon. So the spirit is no more hostage to the hide and seek of a wandering celestial being. That is but a deceptive glimmer of hope, a mirage that lures the wayfarer to lose his way and embark upon a quest for the elusive. I stole the glow from selfless souls, added the void within my being as dark spots, rolled into a concoction.
The nights are never moonless. There is no longing. There is no parting.
Welcome back to Well This Morning, ladies and gentlemen, with Shahzad Khan and Shaza Hashmi, where today, yes, we are very energetic, but also we are in super learning mode because we really want to bring the best out of Pakistan.
Exactly. And ladies and gentlemen, the best part over here, I've just observed it, is that since Shiza knows that, early in the morning, I'm just going to shout out and I'll be like, hey, what's happening? So right after the break, she was like, hey, all right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. And I was like, okay, that's cool and that's fine as well. But I think that the tone is set because of the fact that we're talking about education and how we need to move forward with our future generations, ladies and gentlemen. But now, since we were in conversation with Mr. Kasana, who told us that, we really need to bring up students or, kind of give them or impart them the knowledge which they can use to have a good skill set, which they can use later on to innovate and develop and build and have entrepreneurship to themselves as well.
And rather than a follower, be a thinker.
Exactly. And, this is something which we really need to see in our kids at a very younger age, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody's going to tell you, okay, you know what, kids, today we are going to read this paragraph and you're going to let us know what does the paragraph say. We do not want that now. I think we want kids to write their own paragraphs now, and this is something which we are talking about. Critical thinking, ladies and gentlemen, is something which is missing. This is an element which has been missing for a longer period of time from our education system. At a very younger age, people do not tell you Apple, A for apple. Well, nobody's going to ask you why is A there in Apple in the first place.
And for how many years are we going to study Goodbye Mr. Chips? I mean, you know what I mean?
Exactly. So we really need to step up our game with the schools as well, and we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by people who came up with this brilliant idea that we really need to work on critical thinking and the processes which will take us through and make sure that we will be one of those people who will think about the entire scenario and come up with a solution. And this is something which we wanted, smarter kids, ladies and gentlemen. So without any further ado, we're very lucky because this gentleman, ladies and gentlemen, has all the respect, and there's a reason because we have been in conversation for a longer period of time. He's been on the show almost 5 years ago as well, and 3 years ago and 2 years ago, and I've seen him progressing, and now, alhamdulillah, he happens to be the Chief Executive Officer of the Thinking School. He is Mr. Umair Qureshi. Hello, sir. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Absolutely perfect. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Same here.
A very learned man, indeed. And ladies and gentlemen, the director of the Thinking School, Mir Zakaria Mia Saab, is with us as well. Hello, Mia Saab. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, sir. Kaise hain aap?
Sir, Mia Saab, your name is very amazing. So every lady who's going to call you is going to say Mia.
Yeah, that's why I used to tell to my students, don't call me Mia. That's my last name.
So Mir Zakaria Saab, ladies and gentlemen, is with us. But let's get started. I think that was the only critical thinking I was going to do as well. But Umair Saab, you've heard the preamble of what we wanted for our kids as well. Now you've taken your own initiative, and you say that that the Thinking School will actually make our kids critical thinkers. What are we trying to imply over here?
So, Shahzad, we know that there is a contemporary schooling system in Pakistan, and that was more focused on cramming and memorizing and producing results and grades and all that stuff.
Exactly.
But there is a major change in academics. The worldwide, everyone is now expecting the people who come up as problem solvers, and that is not restricted to the university level. Right. Because the job conditions, the change in industrial area and industries have actually totally been changed due to artificial intelligence and all that. So today, where in the market we previously needed 60,000 people as manpower, today we hardly need 6,000 people, because obviously artificial intelligence has taken over. Now the big thing is, and we all are familiar with one thing, that in Pakistan there is a recent concept of entrepreneurship that has been admired by the people, and that has been taken in a way that people should come up as entrepreneurs rather than job seekers.
Exactly.
Now, why I started with that part, because if you want entrepreneurs to come up, they need to be thinkers as well.
Absolutely.
They need to understand where are the problems. And it's not like you first create a solution and then you find the problem. That is the reverse thing, which is happening in Pakistan at most of the places.
Okay.
So when we talk about the successful startups, when we talk about the successful projects that had been given to in Pakistan, that are very, very small in number. And the reason behind that is people come up with solutions with an app or with something that is already not required, but then they start creating the audience or the clients for that application. We do the other thing. At Thinking School, what we did, we built a curriculum based on critical thinking. And the whole school theory is based on Howard Gardner's multiple intelligence theory,
All right.
which says that every person has a different learning pace. Every person has a different interest.
Absolutely.
We introduced media studies because we believe that you provide more and more options to the people who are interested in that.
Exactly.
If that is in my capacity at the government level, I might introduce a course for chef, I might introduce a course for welding, I might introduce a course for several other things right from grade 1.
Absolutely.
Because we need more diverse professionals. So now when we talk about critical thinking was always there. But because we didn't know, we were lacking as a country, we didn't accept it. And even today, critical thinking is a very fancy word till now
Yeah.
in most of the institutions.
And people do fancy this as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
have
bringing that fancy word and translating it through curriculum and teaching it indirectly is big thing. And when you were
Yes.
talking about that the system is changed and all that, I recalled that one story that the students were asked to write a letter to God.
All right.
Okay.
Right. Now, you are not teaching them. And I have seen one letter that a child wrote a letter to the God and said that, God, thank you for giving me a brother, but actually I prayed for a puppy.
Oh,
So, you're not restricting their thoughts.
right.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Let it come out.
Right.
Let's
And
see.
now, you know what, this is brilliant and we're all for it. But let's talk about the practicality of it, okay? Moving on to you, Mr. Zakria. When you say that you were sort of inculcating the right sense of critical thinking in about 64% of the population, that is the future leaders, right?
Exactly.
So talking practically, let's say public policy, let's say you're teaching public policy to them. So rather than telling them to, when they go out in the sector, to just blindly follow the system already, you're telling them to sort of, weigh out the system.
Or ask
and
questions.
Yeah, ask questions, of course, and not just rely on the system, and at least, sort of give them the confidence that they can make a change. So public policy, how would you say you would inculcate critical thinking in that course?
Basically, in simple words, like the critical thinking is to ask the questions and to provide the reasons.
Yes.
When looking the background of the critical thinking, it's all depend on the logic. When people are saying he's a logical person, his logic is clear, but how is logic?
Yeah.
How is logical person? That's what we want to understand.
Yes.
In Pakistan, mostly we are following the conventional method in teaching and studying and that thing. It should be more towards the assignment-based, task-based, and should be more creative.
Exactly.
Because when somebody asks a question or student asks a question, it's being ignored in a class. I think so they should be pushed to ask the question, to provide the reasons, to give them a time to have the observations.
Exactly.
So when we talk about the policies, so I think so probably all those social sciences subject or humanities subject should be carried on with the same assignment-based, task-based, activity-based learning.
Exactly, and that's wonderful. Thank you very much for saying that, because when we when I think initially when I started with my university assignments and task-based activities, actually helped me be in conversation with other people, teamwork and everything. It did help me. But now since the CEO of the Thinking School himself has said that he's quoted that not everybody's got the same ability of learning. And since we were talking about critical thinking anyways over here, and that too with the Thinking School's director, how do you make sure that you're going to, give each and every kid their space to learn whatever time they take and however they want to come about it? So because, for schools, it does get difficult. And not just that, in today's time, what I've witnessed is that obviously, the world needs to go on. And, this is a question for both of you anyways, that I've seen that there's been a decline in the performance of kids with online schooling, even though the schools just want their fee and they send their teachers online. So, okay, hey, you know what, the class is done. But what I'm witnessing is that the student who was actually a student of class 1 or grade 2, he or she cannot write anymore now because they've been doing things online only, and there has been no intervention, and the teachers are not even worried about it. The school's only worried about the fee. How do you think that there needs to be a change within the online education system now, that people at least learn? You're not only there for your face saving that, okay, we need a fee after a month's time, and that's why, because we were there. We want our kids to learn. So I'll start with you.
Right. So you asked two questions,
Yes.
and I pass on the second question to Zikri.
All right. The first one.
First one is that you're right. Apparently, it's very difficult for like 5 years old child teaching him or her critical thinking. What we do at Thinking Schools, we brought thinking maps.
All right.
Now, be with me
This looks
and bear
interesting.
with me.
Yeah, sure.
Whatever we learn, we get a picture in our minds. We don't remember the whole content, right? If you recall your whole education, 16 years, 18 years, whatever it was, you don't remember every single chapter. You don't remember every single question.
Yeah.
You remember only the things which were burnt in your memory because of some intense moments.
Okay.
Right? And same happens in love life and hate life and married
see,
life
I
and
see.
everything. So, when we talk about representing the idea, that is the most difficult thing.
Yeah.
Thoughts don't have language.
Yeah.
Thoughts are abstract. Now, collecting them and presenting them is an art.
Yeah.
So, what we do, we introduce thinking maps right from grade 1.
All right.
The student learns a concept and draws different kinds of maps. So there are 11, 12 types of maps: bubble map, double bubble map, and flow charts, and there are so many things. Then finally, when they present their idea, they have to draw a thinking map.
All right.
This is how we give language to the
Beautiful.
thoughts.
Exactly.
And that is something entirely new in Pakistan.
And that is so important. So sorry, just to add something over here, this takes me back to when, I think you're in your early ages when your teacher asks you to draw a family tree, right?
Yeah.
So my teacher asks me to draw a family tree, and I'm like, okay, can you tell me what it is? She goes like, oh, it's sort of a lineage of your, grandfather, then blah, blah, blah. So I draw it, but it's not inside a tree, it's a flow chart.
Yeah.
My dadi, dada, and then flana, flana, flana. And I take it to her the next day, and she's like, this is not a tree. And I was, can you believe it? She didn't approve it because it was not shaped like a tree.
Because that's how she learned it. I think that's what it was.
I had the similar experience. Someone asked me to draw a family tree. I drew a family bush.
Okay.
So I didn't believe in tree.
So everybody was
and I
together.
you started from your grandmother. I started from my puppy.
Acha.
So it's that image that comes out actually, and let it be.
Yeah.
It's all okay.
Yeah. I mean, what I'm not able to figure out is that, first you said that you drew a family bush, and then the first name you took was Puppy as well. But all right, moving on to the directors have over here as well, where, the second question was posed to you that, kids these days, just because of online education, are actually missing out on a lot of things. They've almost wasted a year. Now they cannot even write, for whatever they have learned. We're talking about smaller kids. Grade 1, grade 2, where they were just learning ABC or probably 1, 2, 3, or how to write or connect the dots. But they cannot do it now. They've forgotten it. So what's the point of having online classes if they do not know anything?
Shahzad, honestly, thanks to the COVID, we have this experience, the online distance learning. Because still in Pakistan, all over the world, I'm not saying only in Pakistan, because we are still in developing stage.
Yeah.
We supposed to be called in 4G technology or 5G technology, but still we are on 2.5G. The problem coming up when we talk about learning, online learning or online distance learning, we still have got a mixture here. We go for e-learning, we go for M-learning, we have a blended learning.
Yeah.
So when this COVID scenario came up in Pakistan, we were experiencing to start educating online education student on the WhatsApp.
Yeah.
So nobody knows about WhatsApp, what WhatsApp is.
Yeah.
And if you look around, how many people are using WhatsApp?
Almost everybody.
So the main core part or main core problem where I can come with this conclusion, we don't have a uniform standards.
Yeah.
We don't have a uniform system.
Yeah.
Because every school, every uni, every institute is just using their own systems.
Yeah.
Somebody
learning
using
management
Moodle,
systems,
somebody
yes, yes,
using MOOC, somebody using LMS, somebody is using UTaught. So this is different technologies, different. So the problem is when you have no uniform things, so it's pretty hard for the student and for the teachers to teach or either to learn.
Okay, so just to ask the young gentleman, this is a quick yes and no question. So the education policy is now here, and it's supposed to be implemented soon, though. I mean, of course, there's a deadline, and it's going to be the same for people of FATA and people of the federal capital, just to draw the comparison. Do you think it will be implemented uniformly all over the country, and will it be fruitful?
I think, let me clarify one thing.
Okay.
Sure.
When we talk about uniform curriculum, most of the people, I think it in a different way.
Okay.
I take it in a different way. For me, it's a document which is containing the student learning outcomes, and that should be uniform. I'm okay with that.
Okay. But the methods can be different.
Yeah, methods can be different. Obviously, teaching is not a recipe
Definitely.
that you make dal gosht or you biryani. It's not like that. But here is a confusion. When I talk to the people and I ask them, what do you understand by uniform curriculum? They say that the books will be same.
Is that so?
It is.
Okay.
So that is done by the Ministry of Education, and very, very learned people were there, and they knew how to write the books. So the focus is on writing books.
Yeah.
Now, here I have a disagreement.
Okay.
And that is?
And that is that one book is written by one author,
Yeah.
but why to present through his framework?
Exactly.
You can open it. I can write the same content, Zakriya can write the same content, you can write the same content, let the people choose it.
Yes.
Okay.
It will be difficult to run the whole uniform curriculum
Exactly.
across the country. It will be very challenging because after 18th Amendment, the rights are with the provinces.
Exactly.
And that will create problem.
Okay.
It
Well,
will,
let's hope not.
and I
yes.
think I'm going to partially agree to what you've said as well. And it's just like reading a book. For example, what happens is that, God forbid, if towards the end of the night you're actually reading a book, you really get into the shoes of the author, and in that particular mindset as well. So let people choose which people they want to learn from and which people they do not want to learn from as well. But we hope that since now the policy is out as well, obviously in coming years we will witness that there will be more changes which will take us towards more positive results.
Right, and I think Qureshi Saab was absolutely right. So, for example, if a 8th or 9th grader has to learn about mitosis or meiosis, let him learn about that, but through his own way, or let him choose, where he wants to learn from. But thank you so much, and I think we all agree with you that critical thinking is something that needs to be developed at a really early age, so that the person knows in the future what is best for him. And I am going to end the show with a quote from Einstein, who said that it's not that I am smart, it's just that I spend a lot of time with the questions.
Exactly.
And question everything and anything that you see for your own clarity. That will definitely, sort of paint a better picture of the world for you.
Exactly. And ladies and gentlemen, there needs to be continuous progression in life. So I'm going to end with another quote as well. And it's the quote says that if you're the smartest person in the room, you need to change the room.
True.
So please make sure that you actually write to us on our Facebook page, which is with the name of
Well This Morning.
On Twitter.
Well This Morning without Ieee.
On Dailymotion and GTube.
It's PTV World, and then you look for Well This Morning.
And the fabulous repeat is going to be at
5 midnight.
Till the next time, ladies and gentlemen, look after yourselves. Tomorrow we are expecting a lot of good food over here on the tables as well.
Yes.
So please make sure to tune in, ladies and gentlemen. Look after yourselves. 1, 2, 3.
Good morning. Stay safe.